Hi and Happy New Year! I wanted to make this video to show you how I've been filming my wife's episodes for the past year or so. This is my recording studio, if you will. Now this only involves the video part of it. The lights, unfortunately, you can't make them small. I mean, you can, but you just don't get the same quality. And for the sound, you do need the microphones. The lav mics like I'm using now, or an external microphone, a quality one like I have over there where I'm pointing with my hand. And yeah, but by far, actually the video equipment, I would have to tell you, is the least important because most of it is pretty good these days. The lighting is very important and the sound is very important. Any one of those two things will ruin a video no matter how good your recording equipment is. So now that we've got that out of the way, here's what I record on. These are iPads. And for special angles, an iPod Touch. So that's my recording studio. It's very easy to carry and it makes things mobile. Although I have to say the lights I still have to figure out how to carry when we go on trips. But this is what I've been recording with for the past year or so. I found a really good deal on these iPads at B&H Photo, and these are the first generation iPad Airs. But the thing that I wanted was the 128 gigabyte capacity so that I could really record a lot of video on them. And I wanted an iPad because of the battery life. I mean, this thing has humongous battery life, which means that you can record video with it, of course, a lot of video, but you can also record a lot of continuous video with it. The problem that I had recording with DSLRs from multiple angles was the management of the video. The actual work itself, since I was the only one behind the scenes doing it, was ridiculous. Most DSLRs used to have a 12-minute limit on video clips. Some of them actually have 30-minute limits on video clips now, but it's still not enough if you're recording a show. And so that means you've got to go walk around quietly behind the scenes and look at each of the cameras and make sure that it hasn't turned off. And it's just, I can't remember how many times I got really frustrated with the DSLR shutting itself off in the middle of a scene. And also the battery life was an issue with them, and also the sensor overheating was an issue. Now I don't have any of these issues with the iPad. Of course, what I'm trading, there are always pluses and minuses, right? So what I'm trading with the iPad is, video quality. I mean, you can't compare the video that I get from this little camera here, even though it's pretty good. I won't tell you that it's not. You can't compare it with the video that you can get from a DSLR, or better yet, from an even better video camera. But you can't beat this for portability. And you can also edit the video if it's simple enough on the iPad afterwards. You just go right into iMovie and you can publish it right from there. So it's great. It's just wonderful. Now, you're probably looking at this and saying, well, gee, why don't I just get iPod Touches, right, and record my video with those? Well, I wouldn't advise it. I wouldn't advise it because they're very portable, yes, but the battery life on these things, once you start recording video, is at about 30 to 45 minutes. So that's not going to cut it if you're going to record the multiple takes or multiple scenes. You don't want this thing conking out when you're in the middle of a scene. So battery life, not that good. Also video quality, not as good as that on the iPad. And also the processor on this thing is slow. It's slower than on an iPhone 4. Well, at least from my experience. So even though this is a 5th or 6th generation iPod Touch, I can't remember, but it's good for special angles because it's a very light camera. And so if I need to record some overhead video, or I need to record weird angles from above, I can just stick it on a high tripod and do the work, and I just have to make sure that the scene doesn't last long. But other than that, that's what I use it for. Now, in terms of the software that I use on the iPads to record, I'll go ahead and say I love keeping things simple, and I actually just use the video app, the camera app on the iPads to record when I know that the lighting is going to stay consistent and when I know that there's not going to be a lot of movement in the scene. Now, why do I say that? Well, because when the lighting isn't consistent, the camera it has auto lighting compensation, auto white balance and all that stuff. So if the lighting will vary, if you're moving, or if maybe the clouds come over the sky, over the sun as you're filming, it'll adjust the white balance and it'll adjust the exposure automatically, and you'll notice that it's not consistent when you're editing. The other thing is it also has autofocus that you can't disable from the camera itself. I mean, I think you might be able to a certain extent. But if you're going to be doing a lot of this during the video, or maybe moving from here to there, or maybe reaching in front of the camera to grab something, the autofocus might adjust, and you'll see that adjustment live on the video, and that's not, you can notice it. It's not very professional. So in those situations where I know that I want to have spot-on focus that doesn't change, and spot-on white balance, and the exposure stays consistent, then I use an app like Filmic Pro. But I found that with Filmic Pro, and 3 or 4 cameras going at once, you still have to manage them. And yes, Filmic Pro have released a remote app, but it's not that good from my experience. It conks out. I get really stuttery video, and I can't really monitor what's going on properly. So I'm not using that. I'm using something called, and I have to log in because I forget. This app hasn't been updated in a year or a year and a half, I think, but it still works great. It's called Multicam. That's the name for it. Multicam. And it lets you hook up to 4 cameras. See, this is one camera right now that's hooked up. And it lets you hook up to 4 cameras and control them live. It doesn't give you all the options of Filmic Pro, but it's really good. And what I really love about it is it lets you mix the video live. Now, what I mean by that is that you can choose on the master camera that you're recording with, you can choose which video feed goes to the final video. And then at the end, when you press stop, and it stops all the iPads or all the iPods from recording, because you can control all 4 at the same time, it'll actually mix the video for you. So as you were switching from different video feeds during the recording on the master iPad, the one that I use to control them, which is plugged in over there, it's charging right now, it'll actually mix the video. It'll grab it over Wi-Fi from all of the iPads and mix it for you into a final feed. So if you manage to switch the various video angles properly as you are recording the show, you will have a final edited, almost completely edited product. One single video file that you can download from one iPad instead of downloading the videos from all the iPads and mixing them in FCP. Now, you still need to bring the video into FCP, and I still recommend that you back up your various video angles in FCP just so you can have them backed up as well, just in case you want to mix it differently in the future. But it really saves time with the editing. But it does take some practice to get the mixing done right, and you have to know exactly what's going to happen. So if you don't have a script, or you haven't talked with the people that you're filming really thoroughly before each scene, and you know what they're going to do, then as you're mixing the video angles live, you're going to screw up. So just know that. Okay, I think that's it. If you have any questions, post them in the comments. I'll try to answer. But this is what I've been filming with. I'm not saying it's the greatest, but it really works for me. It's very portable, and it's useful. Okay, cheers. See you next time.